experiences love differently. It manifests itself in varying ways according to relationship. But regardless of the nature of relationships, one thing is certain: navigating them is not easy. When you choose to wander through the wilderness, there's a risk that goes along with it. You don't know who or what you'll encounter. You may have the course mapped out, but there's no guarantee you'll be able to stick to it. Even the most rigid algorithms cannot help you in the wilderness. It remains unpredictable. Similarly, figuring out someone else's style of loving and communicating is not just difficult, but sometimes impossible. It's a wilderness, and we're all just trying to make our way through it. Despite the tedious navigation that accompanies relationships, everyone takes part in them. I spoke with 3 different pairs, all with differently defined relationships. I asked each of the 3 pairs the same questions about their relationship, their intimacy, and how they navigate it. Vulnerability was key to all 3. Just like the wilderness, intimate relationships expose us mentally, emotionally, and at times physically. The vulnerability that is evoked by the wilderness forces the navigation of both ourselves and others. The theme of this live story event that I'm doing is wilderness. So that's why I chose love and relationships, trying to make our way through love. Like, we're all just trying to do it and make our way through it alive, honestly. So your experience with your relationship even, what is a piece of advice you would give to someone else in a chosen relationship about navigating it?
Explain the nature of your relationship. We're friends.
Yes, we are friends, but we've become really close friends.
Yeah.
I consider her like one of my best friends.
Oh.
She doesn't consider me a best friend.
I do consider her a very, very, very close friend. Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
The nature of our relationship is usually really silly. We're roommates. We're like best friends. We do a lot of things together.
I think, like, at least on my end, there's like a little bit of codependency, and not in like a really bad way though. I feel like I really rely on Gabby for a lot of like emotional support, which like she's really good at giving.
Explain the nature of your relationship, of our relationship.
The nature of it, I definitely think we have a very strong like friend base, but obviously it's an intimate relationship, boyfriend girlfriend type of thing. Been going on for a while, but we definitely did start out as friends.
How do you define intimacy?
That's a good question.
I guess like just being able to talk to each other about certain things, maybe.
Yeah, someone like you can confide in and like you know that they're always there for you and you can connect with them on different levels. I think that's a definition.
I think that's a good definition.
Do you think you should approach romantic and platonic relationships differently? If so, why and how?
I don't really think so. I mean, I don't know. I always tell people like he's like my soulmate, like he's my other half, like but he's my significant other. Like someone just told me yesterday, Bato is literally your husband, and I'm like, yeah, he's literally my. Like we do everything that people would consider doing in a romantic relationship, which we're not in.
Yeah, but like in general, I feel like you don't really need to like approach romantic or platonic relationships in a different way, unless like, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would just say make sure something that you want to do, make sure that you can fully commit yourself and commit to the other person's needs as best you can. So
It's not easy, but if it's something that you want and that the other person wants, I think that's key. The other person has to want it too. Love is a choice that you make every day. It's not something that just is there. You have to choose to love somebody every day. So just following through with that, and the day that you choose to not love them anymore, to be honest with that decision and kind of follow through and make sure that you're being honest with yourself.
There are 3 main types of love, according to Tim Cole, an associate professor at DePaul University's College of Communication. They are compassionate, companionate, and romantic. Compassionate love is marked by feelings of respect, care, and trust. Companionate love is a love that is slow to develop, marked by strong affection, interdependency, intimacy, and commitment. Romantic love is a love marked by sexual attraction, shared enthusiasm to be together, loyalty, and devotion. Committing to learning someone else's patterns requires a conscious, voluntary choice, as well as the understanding of the unpredictable nature of another person's intimate behavior. Kennedy and EVA are no stranger to each other's patterns. However, they've commented on how they tend to feel unsure when committing to learn someone else's behavioral patterns. Sometimes relationships don't last very long. Sometimes people do grow apart. It happens, said EVA. Exactly, said Kennedy. You never know who you're going to meet and encounter or how long that relationship is going to last. Sometimes when you're getting to know someone, you try to lay out all of the possibilities of what could happen. Are we going to continue this or not? Sometimes things happen. It's life. You move on. The professional definition of intimacy included aspects of mutual knowledge and understanding and shared knowledge and experiences, as well as a sense of trust and vulnerability and overall social support. As it happens, Bato and Gabby's definitions were not much different. I would define intimacy as a very unique and special feeling, said Bato. It's shared with someone who you can talk to about anything and feel safe with them and feel safe talking to them about anything. With intimacy, there are really deep things you can talk about and light things as well. Gabby followed up with, intimacy to me is having very mutual vulnerability, she said. An intimate relationship isn't a relationship you have with just anyone. There are a select few, and you both pick each other. When it comes to Keith and Camila, they weren't afraid to talk about what they need or what they need to work on regarding their own navigation of their relationships. Keith commented on his struggle to make himself available to others. I've always been independent, so having to open up and think about another person more often has been the hardest part for me, he said. That's the hardest part of navigating a relationship for me. In contrast, when discussing her needs in a relationship, Camila showed a very giving nature. I'm a very 110 type of person. I'm very overcommitted in all of my relationships in my life. I always do too much, love a little too much, give a little too much. I'm not very good at asking for help and asking for things to be reciprocated when I need them to be, she explained. I always try to meld too hard and be one with the other person. It's very hard for me to just be me and care about me. I'm the opposite of selfish in a relationship. It can be very detrimental to myself and to the relationship. Due to COVID-19, the three pairs are quarantined in different locations, forcing them to navigate a new kind of wilderness, this time away from the people that matter most. For Kennedy and EVA, a relationship of compassionate love. They just miss doing things together. For Bato and Gabby, a relationship that's rooted in a companionate love. They miss the level of vulnerability they share with each other they don't with others. For Keith and Camila, a relationship that's built on romantic love, being hundreds of miles away, Keith in New York and Camila in the Illinois suburbs, quarantine presents a new type of challenge, one without physical intimacy. When you choose to take part in a relationship, you are willingly stepping into the vulnerability of the unknown. You can try to control it, but chances are you won't be successful in doing so. Embarking on a journey with someone else may not be easy, but it's always worth it, despite the risk. Because at the end of it all, love truly is a wilderness, and we're all just trying to make our way